Hello, everyone, and we are back on the World Crypto Network to bring you a live look at this amazing occasion. We are finally popping.
Hello?
I'm good. I'm listening to myself. This is what happens when you go live. Oh, man. So I am joined today once again by Jimmy Song, and I think for the first time on one of these breaking news live casts, the One Vortex. So hey guys, go ahead and say hi, and then we're gonna go right into the live look as to what we're dealing with at the moment.
Oh, hi everybody. Obviously, it's been a crazy week, and we are going to end this Friday with yet another live show. I'm sure a lot of people are watching, Bitstamp and Bitfinex kind of go crazy. I love how on Bitcoin Wisdom, the BTCE is still stuck at like 2,500. But anyway, we'll be talking about a lot of things today. Appreciate you guys joining us, and welcome, of course, to Mr. Jeffrey Jones / The One Vortex on Twitter.
I know my name sucks. No, thanks guys so much for having me. Listen, you guys have been doing an amazing coverage this week. Absolutely, Jimmy and Tone. I've been watching it as much as I can every day. I do have one of those 9-to-5 damn things, but I tell you what, I get at least halfway.
Well, maybe not for long now.
Maybe not for long anymore. Maybe I can finally be Bitcoin rich. I don't know. But no, absolutely amazing coverage, you guys, this week. And just congratulations completely on the shows and the Max Kaiser shout outs and the donations, and it's just awesome. And congrats to everybody for this all-time highs, long-awaited all-time highs, been delayed by everything you can freaking think and imagine of, and we are here celebrating live on the World Crypto Network, new all-time highs once again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, SegWit. Thank you, Bitcoin Core. Even thank you, Bcash. I mean, the market understands what Bcash is now. It's just an altcoin. So now we can finally get back to Bitcoin, back to business, and let's go to the moon.
Yeah, so here we go. On the big screen, you already see my daily chart. And I tweeted out this ascending triangle just as it was breaking. I mean, I was a little lazy on the tweet. I was actually out tonight for a change. I literally came home and just like watched the all-time high happen. So I got home maybe 40 minutes ago, and I'm like, wow, we're breaking this, and it's a clear ascending triangle. So here's what you're looking at right now. This is what when I tweeted it out. Yeah, I guess I should have tweeted it out a half an hour earlier. Sorry, guys. But this is the picture you are looking at. This is known as an ascending triangle. And let me see here. I got too many tabs open. So all you got to do is Google ascending triangle and just go to images, and you can read all about it. It basically looks something like this. That's a kind of a small picture here, but you should be able to get the idea. Let me see something a little clearer. Here we go. Maybe that one would look better. So that is what we're looking at right here. This is the ascending triangle. So how high are the charts telling us we can go? Now, be mindful of this little pullback right here. Sometimes it goes up, straight up, and sometimes it has a little bit of a pullback. So whether we factor in the pullback or not, and here it is as well, right here, you get this pullback before the actual pump. So not knowing if we will or won't get the pullback, we are looking at an expected target of $3,500 for Bitcoin, because that was the height of the ascending triangle. Now, that was my original target before as well, also putting us at 3,500. It was basically the same exact target, only from it was a $650 target, but from a slightly lower level. This is a $600 target from a slightly higher level, which will also put us at 3,500. And this pop was just insane. And this goes, if you saw our episode a couple of days ago with Richard Hart, and when Richard Hart was saying that, well, we have this double top, and I'm thinking that the price is going to go down. And I explained to Richard, because he probably doesn't watch my economic shows, that double tops are like unicorns. They do not cause the all-time high. And like I explained 2 days ago, the moment I saw the double top, it made me insanely optimistic that we're going to just pop to the upside this $500 to $600 move. So my target right now is 3,500. I don't know. So I'll talk more technicals in a minute, but why don't you guys go ahead and throw some commentary? I mean, it's kind of like everyone should be at a loss for words. This is amazing. I wonder what all those people that are buying up Bcash and selling their Bitcoin for the last 72 hours think about this.
Well, so I mean, Tone, one question I have is, all the Bitcoin Cash that's coming online, all those people that are selling Bitcoin Cash for Bitcoin, is that driving demand at all? Does that have anything to do with this, or is that just sort of like, you know, canceling itself out since the sellers and buyers have to sort of match?
No, it's driving the demand. It's driving the demand for Bitcoin because, like, look at it this way, right? Let's say it wasn't Bcash, right? Let's say, what do you call it? Like, because when you sell something that just came out of thin air, you're selling it to hodl Bitcoin. So you're literally taking the Bitcoin off the market right now, okay? And someone else has to make a market to sell that Bitcoin. So yeah, but the bigger driver is the fact that liquidity is back. The liquidity had left the exchanges because of the uncertainty, and now people are more comfortable buying Bitcoin again because they see the failure of Bcash and how it's not going to be viable. And I mean, most of this isn't driven by Bcash trading, the majority of this. I would say 70 to 75% of this pump is due to the confidence in Bitcoin caused by the basically by the scare of Bcash. Like I never took Bcash seriously. I never took them as a threat, but they definitely like on breaks. So the big pump that you're seeing right now is the second half of the SegWit activation pump. And this is the loss of confidence in Bcash and the gaining of confidence in Bitcoin.
Hey Tone, I'm gonna put a little link up there. I just wanted to show you something that I thought was hilarious.
Well, me or the world?
Yeah, so this is a command line tool that somebody wrote. It's called Bcash Instadump. What it does is it splits up your Bitcoin for you and sort of dumps it. Not sure if it's connected to an exchange or not, but it is. It's basically making it so that yeah, you can go and dump it on Shapeshift. Use Shapeshift basically to put Bcash onto Shapeshift and get Bitcoin right back. So it's yeah. It's
you know what? I've seen lots of tweets saying that people were not able to use Shapeshift to move their Bcash.
Okay. Well, I just want to remind, well, first of all, I want to thank the 662 people watching right now. Make sure to give us a share and a thumbs up so other people can find this video. I'm sure a lot of you were surprised to see that the Bitcoin price has crossed 3,000 for the first time. So, you know, if you want to celebrate, if you want to talk about it, if you want to have, you know, ask questions to Tone, myself, or Mr. The Vortex over there, you know, come join us, talk about it, you know, tell people on Twitter. I mean, you know, it's most of us sort of live in environments where we don't necessarily live near people that know that much about Bitcoin. So, you know, if you want to celebrate, if you want to talk about this, you know, this is the place to be. Anyway,
hey guys, like honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we're at 3,500 by morning, because this is where we should have been like a week ago, right? Like if it wasn't for this Bcash nonsense, I think we would have made 3,500 by now. And it's even better now. First of all, you had this pinned up energy. You had locked up Bitcoin. You had people on the sidelines. And now SegWit is within days away. And at this point, like all of that energy that got stored over the last 2 weeks has finally broken out. And like buying at the break of this ascending triangle is awesome. Like, I'm kind of disappointed in myself that in my recent video, like even like one of the video 2 days ago, I didn't talk about this ascending triangle. Like I guess that's my bad. I mean, I somewhat missed it. I was too focused on my numerical indicator, and the numerical indicator also got you in. Like, if I do put my numerical indicator on this chart, and I know most people that are new to this channel have no idea what this is or how to trade it. You really have to be a Bloomberg terminal trader. According to the numerical indicator, and those that have, you know, taken my private consulting sessions where I gave them this code, I didn't create this indicator. I call it a numerical indicator because I don't want to infringe on a trademark. But the mathematical rules are public. This is a indicator I was watching on the Bloomberg terminal for a while. We just got an awesome donation, by the way, so I want to recognize. Hey, we smoke Bitcoin. Hey, man, you've been donating a lot to us over the last week. Thank you again, man. That's an awesome donation. But just to get back to this indicator, I did say yesterday very clearly, this too right here. So yesterday's candle, yesterday's candle actually closed 3 hours ago. So 3 hours and 40 minutes to be exact. I said that this candle is a buy as long as the close of this candle is above 28.55. If the close of this candle is above 28.55, Bitcoin is a buy on the daily candles. So this indicator got you in literally at the very bottom of this candle. Those that have followed this indicator and know how to use it from my educational series, I guess. And on the weekly chart, I tweeted out, just go to my Twitter, Bitcoin became a buy on Monday when it broke, what was it? Where's this line? This line is at 28.25 when Bitcoin broke 28.25 on Bitstamp. Bitcoin was a buy from a long-term perspective. Now, just as a matter of reference, the last time this indicator told you to buy Bitcoin on the weekly chart was right here at a price of about $12.50. And then we had this run, and the indicator told you to take profit on the all-time high. So this indicator did amazingly well on the last bull run in Bitcoin. And if it duplicates it, we are looking at 6 more weeks of upside. And there's apps. There is a way to use this indicator and project a target, but that is a little bit beyond my educational level on this indicator, and I never actually had the time to study it deep enough. There is a 250-page book that you can get on this indicator alone that is out there in the market. So I never actually used it to project a target. I never really needed to. I'm just looking for the next 9, and that's what I'll be watching. So I have no idea how far it can get, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if the $3,500 target is reached sooner than later.
Hey, let's let Vortex talk a little bit, because I feel like
yeah, that's a good idea. Enough of the price. Come on, like I need a break too.
Just a little bit. No, this is absolutely exciting. First, guys, I just want to say thank you so much for the donations. Again, we smoke Bitcoins. Holy crap, you guys! He seems to be single-handedly keeping us alive over here. Thanks so much, man. We really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for the donations. And look, we're here trying to have a celebration here. Like, you know, I side channel Tone, Jimmy side channel Tone, and apparently Tone got 1 million messages as well. So look, we are here to celebrate this amazing time of Bitcoin going over 3,000, and damn, it's over 3,100 now. Everybody is super excited. Everybody's happy. And of course, like Tone said, this is due to SegWit, right? This is SegWit activation. So like, this is, we are all excited. SegWit should be locked in on Tuesday, right? On the 8th. Then after that, we just got a couple weeks until it's locked in. And look, like I said earlier, the market has processed Bcash. We know what it is now. Like, we were a little bit scared. Of course, who wasn't scared? But it's almost like the Walking Dead episodes, right? Where there's a post-Negan and a pre-Negan, right? If you understand that. We are now post-fork. We are in a post-fork world.
Oh, man. No, Vortex, man. Come on. Not all of us are caught up here.
Oh, no. Okay, no problem. Well, let me tell you something. Whoever's writing season 8 of Bitcoin, the second half is going to be amazing, okay? Because we got SegWit coming up. We got we live in a post-fork world now, so this is a whole new world. Who knows? All sorts of possibilities can happen. Tone, you were talking about a bunch today. You guys need to check out that video about how people can probably just fork Bitcoin and for eternity, it seems. But we'll find out how it goes. But look, I definitely agree with you guys. We're going to be at 3,500 by the morning. This has weeks of upside ready to go, all pumped up, like you said, Tone. This is really been stewing for a while, so we are ready to go. And yeah, I'm just super excited to be here, super humbled. And again, you guys been doing an amazing show, Jimmy and Tone, this week. Can't thank you guys enough for the content. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for the compliments, Vortex. I will note that Max Kaiser is pumping us again on Twitter. He's tweeted out 2 tweets in like the last 5 minutes saying you should be watching this show. Anyway, we're obviously honored, Max, if you're watching. Thank you so much for saying that. Hey, if you want to pop in or something, message me or Tone. I'm sure you can get on here right now. We'd love to have you. It's like an open.
I'm connected with him on Twitter. I'm just gonna send him the link. If he wants to click it and jump on. He doesn't have to turn on his camera, but if he wants to say a few words, we'll see. Come
on, Max, you can do it.
I'll PM him. Let's see where
that would be so epic if we could get Max on here. I mean, come on. It's Max Kaiser. Max Kaiser. Are you serious?
Oh, you know what?
Yeah, you can see my side channel on Tone's screen right now. But yeah, you want to go live. Anyway, I just want to take a look real quick at the Bitcoin Cash price. It has dumped quite a bit. It looks like it's trading right around 216 on Bittrex. And it does feel like a lot of the money that was in Bitcoin Cash is sort of flowing back into Bitcoin. And as Tone said earlier, that may be contributing a lot to this rally that we're having. Certainly, Bitstamp is currently trading above 3,100. So, that's a difference of about $300 in a few days. So, Bitcoin Cash has gone down roughly that much. Not to say that there's like a 1-to-1 correlation, but certainly it does seem like money is flowing from one place to the other. Some other sort of things to look at. It does look like other cryptos aren't doing quite as good compared to Bitcoin, but they seem to be staying steady. So the money seems to be mostly coming either from the outside or from Bitcoin Cash. Note that Bitcoin Cash has lost something like 40% in the past 24 hours.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though, right? Like, if I pull up a chart of Bitcoin Cash, I mean, Bitcoin has just popped. Cash is not at the all-time lows against Bitcoin. That means Bcash is also pumping with Bitcoin because the price of Bcash was certainly lower like 7 hours ago.
Right, but isn't that like a wick because like somebody just dumped it and somebody picked it right back up or something like that? Or I mean, did it close at the low there?
Yeah, I mean, this is
So, Tone, I got a question. So, couldn't Bcash be pumping with Bitcoin just like all the other alts because of all the dumb money still in the ecosystem?
Probably. I mean, look, but that's the thing. Like, Bcash is actually this half an hour. Bcash is pumping against Bitcoin, so that means Bcash is going up faster than Bitcoin over the last 30 minutes, which is very weird to me. That I can't explain. I would have expected there to be like a massive drawdown because Bitcoin is pumping so much. Like, even if no one is buying, I mean, I didn't expect Bitcoin to be going up faster in dollar percentage terms than Bitcoin right now. So I can't explain that, but the pattern that it's forming right now is not good. But let's see how big this candle is. I mean, you can see the current 30-minute candle. The ratio of cash is going up faster in percentage terms than Bitcoin. Maybe Bitcoin has dropped a little bit since I started looking at this.
Well, do we know if it's whales, or do we know if it's just whales, or?
I mean, I don't know anything on that front. Like, it makes no sense to me. I would have expected on this massive pump of Bitcoin, I would have expected a drawdown. I would have expected Bcash to go up slower than Bitcoin, but we'll see. People are still trying to sell it. Maybe people have pulled their bids. No, they wouldn't have done that. I mean, if it's a better price, I can't explain. Sorry, guys. I usually think I know everything when it comes to markets and trading, but I can't explain this one.
Just give it time, Tone. You'll figure it out. Like, I guarantee you, tomorrow's show, tomorrow morning, tomorrow's Today in Bitcoin, you'll be like, okay, guys, I got it figured out. Check it out.
All right, so maybe we should take some. Is it a good time to go to some audience questions, Tone? What do you want to do next?
Let me see. I haven't been looking at the chat, so I don't know if there were questions in there. Hey guys, if you want to throw your questions in, to be honest with you, we have so many people in the chat these days. Even like your comments really stand out to us. Even if you like throw in like $1. Donation, it will make it so clear and your question will get read. Otherwise, you gotta like start with the word question. Question, how high can this go? Well, I think we already answered that. If you're looking at my chart, I'm looking at a target of 3,500. So I think 3,500 is pretty much what I'm looking for. Will it go to 600? Well, I think you mean 3,600, I hope. Can it go up $600? Yeah, absolutely. It can easily go, like I said, 3,500 is my target.
Yeah.
Has it really been? I don't think it's been 2 hours since the last block.
It's been about an hour and a half, I think.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there just haven't been very many blocks found recently.
By the way, this is a really cool chart that somebody put together, and he's been tweeting it, and I've been retweeting it. And you can see that every time a block is mined, there is a dump of Bcash. So all of these lines are basically blocks being mined, and I think he adds them. So let me see here.
They seem like descending triangles that break out with a block or something.
Yeah. So it's possible that Bcash is pumping simply because it lost selling pressure because there hasn't been a block mined. But the moment a block is mined, and God forbid 3 or 4 blocks in a row are mined, because people are still waiting. Like, a lot of people didn't deposit into Bittrex until after they announced that they're going to do it after 20 blocks. Now, some people were already in the queue, but some people didn't get into the queue till after the announcement. So there you go. And there's still people waiting to dump that shit. All right, hey guys, are you helping me look at questions? Because if I'm looking at charts, I can't see questions.
Another question was, how fast do you think it will get to 3,500? And then the other question is, what is the percentage do you think that'll get back down to 2,500?
2,500 is probably unlikely under normal conditions. Like, if something catastrophic happens, then anything goes. But under normal conditions, 2,500 would be down here, and that would be incredibly scary. If we make it back to 2,500, which is where my mouse is blinking, that would create this double bottom, and that would be mad scary. Your strong support has just become like the 2,850 to 2,900 area. So the top of this ascending triangle. So if we come back down to the top of the triangle, and you do not want to come down to the top of this triangle in the next 24 hours, that would also be scary. So your ideal situation is for this daily chart to go up, or in general up direction, for 6 additional days. And then we'll hit a 9. And then we can go back down. And if we go, as long as we go back down and stay above 2,800, 2,850 to be exact, it's still a healthy bull market. So if we pull back to 2,800 in the next 24 hours, that's not good. If we pull back to 2,800 sometime at the end of next week, that would be perfectly normal, and just a pullback before a higher up move.
All right, there's another question. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, just real quick, Jimmy, just wanted to tell you, I am keeping track. Excuse me. I am trying to keep track of all these questions, but we do have 2 questions that were paid for. So we probably put those at the top, I assume, right?
Of course.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So yeah, so the first question is, why do alts shoot up with Bitcoins? With Bitcoins?
That's a good question. You know what? I may not have a good answer for that. I mean, it's the same reason why silver shoots up faster than gold and silver falls faster than gold. I mean, when the news breaks and people buy, people can't afford Bitcoin. It's too expensive, and the market is way too mature. So people buy the cheap stuff just in anticipation that it will go up more in percentage terms because it doesn't take that much pressure. And when enough people think this, they make it true. And because the altcoins are very illiquid, it doesn't take much money to move it. So even if 5% of the people think they can make more money by buying into alts, they'll probably move the alts faster.
Yeah, so I want to just add to that. I think Tone is absolutely right. A lot of the altcoins sort of act like leveraged versions of Bitcoin, and they just essentially go up faster and down faster and sort of have a VIG that the market kind of takes. And that seems to be the case with a lot of these altcoins like Litecoin and Ethereum. That said, if you do look at CoinMarketCap, at least today, it does look like Bitcoin is breaking out of even a lot of these. And a lot of coins tend to be more volatile, but despite that, Bitcoin is up 12%, whereas Ethereum's up like 0.38%. So yeah, I mean, they do correlate somewhat, but they're not perfect correlations. But the best answer I have is that they act like leveraged products rather than the actual base thing.
Yep, and just one more thing, just to add. Remember, Bitcoin underpins the entire crypto economy. It is kind of like gold underpinning stocks, sort of like that. Bitcoin is underpinning the entire economy. So almost every time when Bitcoin pumps, all the coins go with it.
Just to quickly comment before we get to the next question, someone also asked, how fast can we get to my target of 600? Honestly, nobody knows. It can take a week. It can take 3 more hours. I mean, we don't know.
Okay, just want to tell everybody thank you for watching this show. We are now over 1,000 people watching live right now, and we are currently trending on YouTube Live as the top show under technology. So thank you so much for that. We are once again beating NASA and, I guess an earthquake seismic stream or something like that. But yeah, we're doing better than both of those. Please don't go in there and like troll them. I think we just want to celebrate here, although I don't know if you are feeling especially joyous, maybe you want to go tell the world that Bitcoin is at its all-time high. Anyway, I think we have another question. Vortex, you want to talk about that?
Let's see. So the next question is, what does the Bitcoin mempool look like? And also, when do we predict the next big blocker scare will happen? I mean, both Jimmy and Tone have both talked about how the next kind of hurdle or challenge for Bitcoin is going to be the SegWit 2X, right, in November. So that's when both Tone and Jimmy, for sure, Tone predicts that we're going to probably have a price correction around that time. And, it is going to, they are going to throw some FUD around there. But we hope that it won't be as bad as it would have been pre-fork, because now that we have this other coin, Bcash, there's really not a whole lot of reason to justify hard forking Bitcoin at this time, especially when the price will be up, SegWit will be locked in, and will be good to go. Yeah, you guys want to comment?
I haven't looked at the mempool. Do you want to pull up a chart, Tone?
Sure. Let's take a look at the mempool. Which mempool?
The Bitcoin mempool. I think because it was like very empty when we went on live on Tuesday. It was like empty the entire 8 hours.
It's a little foolish at the moment.
2.63 is nothing. That's nothing compared to what it was like.
Oh
before.
wait, why am I looking at? I always have to like stare at this chart for like 5 minutes to figure out what I'm looking at. I always look at the numbers on the right-hand scale, but that's the value of Bitcoin. Like, I always look at the wrong metric. I'm like, oh my god, 35,000 transactions. But that's clearly not true. The mempool is only 2.66 megabytes.
Yeah, which isn't very much, and this has sort of been the trend since right before this hard fork. A lot of people were just sort of scared to transact, and a lot of these businesses that do a majority of the transactions on the blockchain, well, they had shut down, and that freed up a lot of space. We got a donation for 2 cents and they paid like 1 cent for a transaction fee. A lot of people that were donating to us did like 1 Satoshi per byte, and they were able to get that through. There was one that tried a 0 fee, but none of the miners would pick it up because they felt like it was like, I don't know, they didn't feel like, giving charity or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like the mempool is fairly low. I imagine a lot of that is just, exchanges and merchants just becoming more efficient, like doing batch transactions and things of that nature. I imagine that's the case. The other mempool, the Bitcoin Cash mempool, has had these like giant spikes. There were, blocks that were sort of self-limited. It looks like some certain miners were self-limiting themselves to like 2 megabytes for some reason. But via BTC, I think mined a 4 megabyte block and cleared that mempool. But yeah, I mean,
yeah, it would have been right here. You should be able to see it on the big screen, I hope.
Yep.
And that definitely cleared a 4 megabyte mempool. Who did that via BTC?
Yes.
Did they signal for SegWit again?
No, but it was about 6 hours ago, and they cleared 4 megabytes, and then they mined another block and cleared another 1.5.
Well, their hash rate keeps getting lower, so it's a little weird how they continue to find these blocks with less and less mining power on board. I
mean, the difficulty is relatively low, so even if they don't.
Okay, so people asked about this, Jimmy. Where is it? Not that one. Or did I close it? Shoot, hold on a second. Here it is. People asked me about this, so maybe we can comment because you're the bigger expert. So did they mine? Did they like use ASIC boost? Like right here. Can you see that? So block 478628 happened instantaneously after the previous block. Like, look, the time is the same.
Yep.
2329. So they just literally and looked at one transaction in it.
It's only the Coinbase transaction,
right? So is this like literally they mined an empty block immediately after?
Yeah, I mean, that happens sometimes. Certainly, if you were using ASIC boost, finding collisions using just the Coinbase would be a lot faster than doing some of the stuff that Gregory Maxwell described in his, post to the Bitcoin devs mailing list. Whether or not they use it, I have no idea. I mean, this does generally, if you clear the mempool, which I think those 3 blocks happened relatively quickly. Via BTC at 2313.
Right,
cleared
I see it right there.
Yeah. So I mean, there just weren't that many to begin with. So there just might not have been any blocks, and maybe they used ASIC boost, maybe they didn't, but they certainly found it very quickly. That's not abnormal. That does happen. I mean, like when we were on air before, there were like 3 in a row that happened in like 10 seconds or something like that. So, whether or not it's using ASIC boost, I don't know, because we don't know who that miner is. It's not listed. I mean, some are suspecting that an Antpool is doing this, and if it is, then maybe. But I mean, it would give you maybe like a 15-20% boost in not using electricity. But hash rate is going to be relatively similar unless they actually put more miners on. So yeah, hard to say. Gotcha.
Oh man, it's getting a little late here on the East Coast. It's midnight for me already. Let's go back to the price of Bitcoin. And so our new all-time high on Bitfinex is now 3,190. And over on Bitstamp, our new all-time high is 3,158.
This is getting kind of crazy. I mean, does it mean something that we've broken through 3,000, Tone? Is that
Not
like a
really.
big psychological barrier?
I don't think so.
What, really?
Well,
Not a psychological
we were there.
barrier.
Well, it's not the 3,000 number. It was the previous all-time high, right? I mean, it didn't really matter what this 3,000 was because we were already flirting with it, right? We were there. Our previous all-time high was like 29.22 on Bitfinex, and on Bitstamp it was even closer. It was 29.67. So we were literally like less than 0.5% away from 3,000. So it's not the 3,000 number that matters. It's the fact that we broke all-time high and the way that we broke it. I mean, this could have been any number. This could have been 2,800, 2,700. So I don't think the 3,000 number itself is all that. When it comes to this kind of technical analysis, round numbers do matter as support and resistance. But psychologically, I don't think 3,000 is that big of a deal. 5,000 would be a much bigger deal, and 10,000 would be huge.
Well, sure, the bigger numbers would definitely be bigger, but I guess it's for me it's both. Yeah.
Right, but this was an ideal case. Like, you want the price to kind of get stuck at a big round number, right? Like, let me give you an example, right? Let's say we blow through $5,000 and go all the way to 7. That creates a big air gap, and you don't want that air gap. I mean, if this is a moonshot from here, you really don't want this to break 5,000. You really don't. You want it to hit its head on 5,000, and then if it comes back down to 3,000, it's okay. Most people should not get scared. But if we break 5,000 and go all the way to 7 or 8, when it starts to go back down, we're still very likely to come back to 3,000. And you would much rather fall from 5,000 to 3,000 than from 8,000 to 3,000. Trust me.
That does make sense. There's another sort of theory of investing that I've heard that maybe many of our viewers are familiar with, which is buy at the all-time high and hold. And that's traditionally worked out very well in Bitcoin. As you know, the first high was like a little over $1, and if you bought then, you could have ridden it all the way to 30, and once it bottomed out, it still never really got to below 1. Same thing with $30. If you bought past $30, you would have ridden it all the way to 266, and then when it dropped, it would have still been okay. If you bought, on the way up at past 266, you would have bought, and you would have ridden it all the way to 1,000 something. And even during the 3-year bear market, it rarely dipped below 266. This seems like a pretty significant event. This is an all-time high. Should people be buying, sort of anticipating this sort of pattern to continue?
Yes, probably. It is a good strategy, but you have to be careful when you say it the way you said it. You buy it the moment you break all-time high, right? Because looking at the S&P 500, the last time the S&P 500 broke all-time high would have been right here at about 1590. And if you bought this all-time high at 1590 in 2013, you're getting close to doubling your money, which is pretty damn good for the S&P 500, okay? Now, the previous time it broke the all-time high, that didn't work out all so well, right? Because we were at the all-time high right here in the dot-com crash, before the dot-com crash, and then we went just slightly over the all-time high in 2017 before the big fall. But if I even zoom this chart out on the S&P 500, because we do need, or actually on the Dow Jones, my INDU historical, and buying the all-time high has been a historically good strategy. Here is the Dow Jones Industrial Average going all the way to the creation of the Federal Reserve. And I had a whole presentation about this chart, which unfortunately was recorded but never released. And yeah, so if you would have bought the all-time high, you would have you would have like tripled your money during the roaring 20s, and that got way out of control. And then buying the new all-time high or close to it, you would have done insanely well. And then you get into this like 15-year drought where you have these double tops, but then you break out. So basically, we broke out here in the 50s, then we broke out in the early 80s. If you held through the crash of 87, you would have hit a new all-time high in 1989. You would have rode that all the way into the year 2000. You would have gotten screwed in 07, but if you would have held through it and added to your position in 2013, you would have done really well. So this is a good strategy, and this is a standard breakout strategy. You buy the breakout. So what that means is, Bitcoin will be hitting an all-time high at 5,000, but this is the time you want to buy it. You wanted to buy it this morning. You wanted to buy it or like 3 hours ago. The moment we were breaking 29.50 is when you wanted to buy this thing.
All right, I just want to thank our 1,293 people that are watching right now. Also, Max Kaiser has politely declined. He says, thanks for the shout out, guys. I'm just chilling and watching the show. Funny, you're beating NASA's stream numbers as BTC rockets to the moon. Thank you, Max, for that tweet. That's awesome. We're obviously big fans of yours. So anytime you want to come on our show, feel free to ask, and we'll do something around you, obviously. Any other questions, Vortex, that you saw that maybe we should take a look at?
Oh, let's see. I got a bunch of them. I've been recording them all. Let's see. We got what are the implications of the new Bitcoin Cash on the altcoin economy?
Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit, Tone, right? Like one of the conspiracy theories is that if you just keep having these like fork altcoins, then they can potentially wipe out, all these other altcoins. Notice that we haven't really talked that much about ICOs since the whole Bitcoin Cash thing went. Whether or not that's a good thing, I leave up to you, the viewer, to decide.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Hey, guys, when I was talking about the Dow Jones, did I have that chart on the big screen or no? Or was I on camera?
Yeah, you
did.
Okay, I was just checking because right now I'm looking at the camera. Sorry about that. Go on.
Yeah. So I mean, if we have more of these, I think Tur de Meester retweeted somebody that had put this chart up, and it's basically coin market cap with Bitcoin Money, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin X, Bitcoin Y, whatever, and they're all named Bitcoin, and that may become the case. I don't know. Certainly, this socializes the cost of creating an altcoin to a lot of other people, and in that way, maybe it's a little cheaper. Will it eliminate altcoins? I don't know. Will it eliminate ICOs? I don't know. But certainly there's an argument to be made that this is a more effective way to distribute than others.
I'm on Tur's Twitter. I guess he tweets too much. When did he tweet this out?
I forgot. I think it was. Oh boy, I'm gonna look through my.
Found it. Right, it's on the big screen.
I love that. I sent that to you too, Tone. I side channeled that.
I know. I saw that.
I don't pay attention to nonsense. I'm like, Tone, this illustrates your point, bro.
Yeah.
Where did this come from? Did he just like replace the names? Are these like Litecoin and?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the second one's like Ethereum, the third one's Ripple, and so on.
That's awesome.
He just renamed them all. But very creative names: Bitcoin chips and Bitcoin coin.
You know what? If I was doing it, I would have actually. Oh man, that's an awesome troll job, Tur. But what I would have done is I would have like named it Bitcoin and then something similar to the coin he's replacing. Like instead of Litecoin, I would have wrote Bitcoin Lite. Instead of Dash, I would have wrote Bitcoin Dark. Instead of Ethereum, I would have wrote Bitcoin World Computer. I would have like wrote something with a similarity.
All right. Tone, you and I need to make like a sarcastic like the Onion version of like crypto or something like that, and we need to make this happen because that's
Onion version of Coin Market Cap.
Yeah. Well, this would be one article. Obviously, it's like the future of Bitcoin if this keeps going or something like that. I don't know. I think there's space for humor, and this might be it. I don't know.
Man, no, Tour does great work, man. Shout out to Tour de Meester.
Mm-hmm. I love Tour. Yeah, he's he certainly talks a lot about a lot of the similar things that you do. The fact that you respect him tells you a lot about his prognosticating abilities in Bitcoin, I guess.
I think Tour believes, similar to what Tone and I believe, which I think is what you believe, Tone, is that in the future, I mean, there probably won't be altcoins. It will all be side chains, drive chains, and forks of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, I mean, they'll be around, but they'll become less and less relevant.
Yeah.
Look, we only have one internet today. We only need one Bitcoin. I mean, we need test nets, but we should only need one Bitcoin.
Yeah, I will say though that most altcoins are still better than fiat. So I mean, there is that. I did tweet out a shower thought the other day. What if it's not all coins are? It's not that the altcoins are in a bubble. It's just that fiat is crashing. And there's just so much demand to put fiat into crypto simply because people don't like holding cash because it's just depreciating so quickly. And that may be the case. I mean, like asset prices all over the world are going up, and about real estate and other things. So, there's some truth to that. I don't know, but it was a shower thought. I didn't really think much through it. That's why I label it a shower thought, but something to think about.
All right, let's see. Do we have any other questions from the audience?
Oh, yeah, I got a bunch. Let's see. This one should be good. Which is going to increase faster, Bitcoin or the viewers tonight?
Oh, I'm going to say Bitcoin. I mean, most of the world is sleeping, and even through this, and look, I'm about to go to bed. I mean, as nice as it is, I already pulled an all-nighter this week, and I don't want to do it again.
Yeah, I do want to give a shout out to somebody that's probably sleeping right now, Gabriel Divine. He actually called an all-time high before the end of the summer when we were talking about all of this stuff. And he said, I'm going to call it right now. I told him to pin this tweet, and he said, it's too boring for me to pin. But yeah, I mean, he's obviously right. We did hit an all-time high before the end of the summer. So good job, Gabriel. You're probably in the middle of a very good sleep, but you'll see this in the morning. And when you do, here's me, I guess, eating crow or whatever, and saying, "Hey, you knew what you were talking about." All right. Any other questions?
Yep.
He's got a bunch. Go for it.
Oh yeah, I got a few. Let's see. Where is it? I had one. Oh, there we go. If BCH stays above 100, do you guys think that this will catch on as a new ICO craze, or did we already? I guess we talked about that. Oh, let me rephrase this then. Let me rephrase this. Do you think that ICOs will then hop on Bitcoin anytime soon via RSK or colored coins or counterparty? Do you think that the ICO craze will hop on Bitcoin? And if so, when?
Probably. I mean, they'll hop on when the technology is available for them to hop on. The real question you have to ask as an ICO holder, are they going to convert your coins to a Bitcoin sidechain or drive chain or whatever they're going to be called, or are they going to pull a storage and just release another version adding to the supply of their ICO?
I think storage has like 6 different. I don't know. They've gone through they're like on Series J by now. They keep raising money.
Right. So what you have to realize as an ICO holder, there's nothing stopping that company. They fooled people once. They're gonna do it again. So once they run out of money, once they run out of that money because they ain't got a viable business anyway. So once they blow through that money partying, wanna have another round. And what's better than a round on a different blockchain?
I want to just point out that there have been ICOs on Bitcoin already. The first one was Mastercoin, another one was Ethereum, another one was Factom.
No,
even recently there was
no, Jimmy, they weren't on top of Bitcoin. They were just accepting They were just accepting Bitcoin as the conversion mechanism. We're talking actually like pinned to the Bitcoin blockchain for usefulness.
Yeah, I mean, there were a bunch of counterparty tokens and things like that that you know, a counterparty runs on top of Bitcoin. So I mean, they're utilizing the Bitcoin blockchain, if you will. And you know, I mean, as recently as Tezos, you know, they accepted Bitcoin as part of their ICO. I don't know what their plan is for actually utilizing it. Fees are kind of good in that way because you're not like spamming the blockchain like you are. You know, if you do have a lot of these projects, there's a reason why the Ethereum blockchain is growing so much faster than Bitcoin's. And it's not because people are transacting more. It's because, well, I guess they are. It's because of the ICOs. And, you know, it's way past what Bitcoin's blockchain is. And they have way less transactions, largely because of their, you know, smart contract platform and things like that. I mean, I'm kind of glad that that's not on Bitcoin because it's not bloating the blockchain, and it's instead bloating Ethereum. I don't know if you really want it on Bitcoin if you are a Bitcoin holder. But then again, who knows what effect that sort of thing will have.
I fully agree, Jimmy. You know, I definitely try to tell people this as well, that look, we want all the testing on these other coins. We want all these things on other coins first tested out to make sure they work. I mean, there's a reason why Bitcoin is so stable. It's because it doesn't have a million bazillion features added to it every freaking day, right? And this is really important. And you know, maybe it's part of the ethos, but this is how we keep Bitcoin stable, secure, and backwards compatible.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why we don't have that on Bitcoin is because our core developers are trying to, you know, do things responsibly. And I can see a future, maybe even sooner than later, when the community will, you know, demand these core developers, you know, loosen their grip on preventing some of these additional features. And it'll be interesting where people like me will end up when those debates come. I mean, for now, I appreciate the fact that we have these guardians of the code that aren't, you know, as irresponsible like the Ethereum developers. Yeah, anything goes. And then you end up with these DAO situations. So I'm happy that our developers are protecting Bitcoin and saying, you know, you can do your experimental ICO shit over there. But eventually, you know, Bitcoin will have to absorb some of that and be strong enough, just like the internet, right? I mean, like the internet wasn't ready for YouTube back in the late 90s, but now it is. Same thing for Netflix, right? I mean, it will have to grow and it will have to absorb all of the nonsense, but let's just get there safely and scale the right way.
Hey, Tone, I'm hearing some reports that there's a giant short squeeze going on BitMEX and some others. Is there any truth to that?
There has to be. I mean, people were sending me all these tweets like 3 or 4 days ago before the hard fork that the market was, for some stupid reason, leverage short over long. I mean, my Twitter is completely flooded, so it's impossible for me to go back 3 or 4 days and find them. But for some dumb reason, there was more leverage short positions than long positions. So I wasn't surprised at all that this short squeeze is coming.
Okay, so this a rip your face off rally or not?
I know some people got hurt, and yeah, and it's unfortunate for people that couldn't sell their Bcash in time. But again, for reasons I certainly can't explain, Bcash is hanging in there and is even rising versus Bitcoin. It's amazing to me personally. I don't know what's going on with Bcash. Like I would have expected this thing to be below 0.05 by now, and it's hanging out there at 0.075, and that's fairly significant.
Is any of that leverage trading or no?
I don't think so. No, because this is Bittrex. I don't think they allow you leverage trading. We'd have to go to Kraken for that, and on Kraken they seem to be doing okay. What is this? Oh, this is me trying to find BCC here. Is this Kraken? There you go. That's Kraken. Yep. Look, it's like BCC is BitConnect on some exchanges. I mean, this is just a mess. You know, I know you guys want a hard fork, but at least like this is how it's like, I want to call it a clown show, but now I'm giving it too much like credit, because people do actually go to clown school to become clowns, and it's an actual job. And I really don't want to disrespect clowns at this point. I mean, how hard is it to make up a ticker that isn't already being used? So.
Hey, don't disrespect clowns. Clowns are good people.
I also don't understand why they they just didn't do BCH universally. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
But they didn't even have a name for it. Oh God. Anyway, so here it is on Kraken. On Kraken, it's still at like 0.095, but you can't get your shit into Kraken, as far as I know.
Yeah.
At least I haven't heard. So I don't know. I think the only place you can leverage this stuff is Kraken and Bitfinex. I think. Yeah, the two places where you can't actually get it into.
You can't deposit it, but they'll let you leverage the hell out of whatever is in there already.
Exactly.
Yeah, that is very interesting, and that's sort of causing the differences in exchange prices for this stuff. Usually, crypto to crypto will be similar almost across all exchanges, because you can move crypto so much easier than fiat. But in this case, because Bitcoin Cash is very difficult to move due to the slower blocks, it does look like the prices are decoupled from each other, whereas they usually go, in sync. So that is an interesting point.
So we don't have another block yet. So basically, I don't know if he manually updates this chart, and I do want to give proper what do you call it?
Credit.
Proper credit. So the person that made this chart, I actually don't know his handle on I don't know his handle on TradingView, so I'm not actually connected with him on TradingView. But I did tweet it out, and I did give him credit. So here is Altcoin Man. So Altcoin Man is responsible for those cool charts. So here they are. Oh, why am I on Bittrex? That's not where I wanted to go. Here we go. So here is Altcoin Man, and he's been doing a pretty cool job on these charts. So so there it is. There's a shout out, and I don't know if he updates the block being found manually, but we're waiting for the next block, and then you see this giant volume spike.
It says in the chat. Sorry, Tone. They said in the chat that there hasn't been a block in over 2 hours.
Yeah, that's about
that
right.
was consistent with this chart. No, actually, it's not, because that's 4:30. Yeah, that's an hour, and that's 2 hours. Yeah, so it's been over 2 hours. So that's probably why the price is going up. I mean, the selling just got exhausted from this last block. And look, this block brought on a bunch of selling. Yeah, so we're gonna wait for one more block, and then there should be another round of selling.
I wonder if anyone's sort of trading against this pattern, because you can just pick up all the dumps and then sell as people, as the block time gets longer and longer, and then as soon as the dump comes, you buy again.
It's really difficult, because you don't know when the next block is going to be found. So you don't want to be buying up the low, and then a block immediately gets found, and then you have to immediately sell. Like, you literally have to watch the blockchain, and then you have to just market sell the moment a block comes, right before that. But you also have to time the bottom, because sometimes you get a bunch of blocks in a row, like what happened right here, and if you mistime it, the second block just adds to the selling of the first block.
That can be very
rough. You gotta be real careful, and you have to really know what you're doing.
I guess if you were a miner and you had the block first, you can put in the buy order for the dump, execute the, just release the block, let everyone see it, buy it up, and then just withhold it until you sell all of that which you bought, and then if you find another block just withhold it until it's all sold, then release it,
well,
rinse and repeat?
Actually, like here's a better way to do it, right? I mean, there is some competition, but not a lot, right? If you're a miner and you just found a block, what I would do if I was a miner, this is how, now not that I'm recommending like insider trading, but what I would do if I was a miner, I would hold on to a bunch of Bcash. And then the moment I found a block, I first market sell the shit out of like 100, like 100, 2, 3, like 1,000 coins. I would market sell it the split second before I release the block to the world. So I beat all of the sellers that are about to come from my block. So I sell it. So all the people that I just allowed to sell have to sell at a suppressed low price as I buy it back from them.
Sounds like, yeah, that's sort of front running the market because you kind of know, but
right.
Yeah.
So you front run because you're creating the selling by releasing the block.
Yep. Sounds like it.
not that I'm recommending this, but
is that illegal? I don't think that's even illegal, is it?
Well, it can't be illegal because like Wall Street has never dealt with the situation.
It's a gray area, but yeah, nobody knows.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
We got some more questions. How much more time do we have, Tone?
On camera?
Yeah. How much more time do we have for the show?
We're about to have another all-time high, so I said like we can't stop now.
Well, because you said you were tired. It's 12:30 your time.
Hey, he stayed up 36 hours that time. Don't worry too much.
Goodness, Tone. You're a better man than I. We do have one more question here. Let's see. In terms of buying through exchanges, is it more common for people to purchase through their own country's exchanges versus through one outside of their country?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, are you wiring? It's not easy to answer this question. I personally prefer to go out. It's better to just work for it and just get BTC directly. If you are gonna pay for it,
not everyone has consulting jobs that pay directly in Bitcoin. Come on, Tone.
I know I have to come up with something. But no, there's other ways.
It all depends on what you're doing with it, right? If you're doing something nefarious that you know is illegal in most countries, then you're probably going to like use an anonymous exchange outside of your own country, right?
Well, I mean, I think the more pertinent question is which gives you better privacy. Most exchanges in the United States, for example, have stringent AML KYC laws. I hear that's the same for like Korea and Japan, for example. But I mean, obviously, if you want privacy, you're probably better off going to like Brazil, assuming you're not from Brazil, going to Brazil and buying it on local Bitcoins or something like that.
I think Brazil would be the last country I'd want to meet some random person.
Right. I'm just saying you want something. If privacy is your goal, that's the sort of thing that you're going to want to do.
Sorry to interrupt, but we just hit new all-time highs again on Bitstamp, 3172.
Yeah, we're almost at 3,200 on Bitfinex. Okay, so no, this question, 3,200, we hit it. This question is actually very difficult. It depends on what country you're in, and more so because if you're in Canada, you're better off buying it in Canada than if you're buying it from the US if you're in Canada, because Canada has much better rules on buying Bitcoin. You can walk up to an ATM in Canada and buy like $2,000-$3,000 worth of Bitcoin with no KYC, just from a Bitcoin ATM in Canada. In the US, they're gonna take your palm print and they will like scan your eyes or God knows what else at an ATM machine. So it really depends on what country you're in. So if you're ever in Canada, just go to an ATM machine. They have very, very fairly loose KYC laws on that.
Yeah, that's a hard question to answer, and it depends on your goals. I think is really what we want to say. Wow, did we break 3,200? We did. We broke 3,200.
Look at this,
Wow.
32, 35
Beautiful.
already on Bitfinex. Now, this
man.
may not be sustainable. I mean, this really may be leveraged short squeeze going down. Bitstamp broke 3,200. I mean, this is something, and I really do think this is going to be sustained. Well, sorry, the today may not last like that, but I do think the rally is now on. I am looking for 6 more weeks. I mean, my probability is, I mean, 6 more, 6 to. So we're on a 4 over here. I don't know if you guys can see it. So this can go up to a 13, like what happened over here. And yeah, so we are looking at somewhere between, the probability says that either 6 more weeks of upside or 11 more weeks of upside.
Wow.
That sounds good. That all sounds good to me, Tone. That all sounds good to me.
So at what point do you think that people should consider, like, maybe there's like a pullback or something like that? Is that in the cards at any point, Tone, or is it just looking pretty bullish?
Maybe in a couple of days. Maybe in a couple of days. But yeah, but this pullback will need to stay above 2850 area. It needs to stay above the breakout. It really needs to stay above this green line that I had drawn, which is at 28.25. So somewhere between 28 and 29. I mean, pretty soon $100 will be like a margin of error. We'll be talking about, yeah, Bitcoin needs to stay between 11,000 and 12,000 in order to be considered in a stable range.
Do you think this breakout will sustain over SegWit lock-in? Because that's sort of the next big event. I mean, that is sort of a story. I know like traders trade on stories oftentimes, and that is a major story coming up for Bitcoin with SegWit locking in that guarantees SegWit activation 2 weeks later. And it's been coming for a long time now, but as it becomes more real and maybe more projects are announcing sort of Lightning Network integration or SegWit integration into their wallets, do you see that affecting the price at all?
Well, normally I would say that traders buy on anticipation of the event, and the event itself is usually the sell the news event. But in this case, because of the hard fork, the SegWit buying frenzy happened a week late. So we're going to be activating SegWit in less than a week, in about 5 days. So we'll probably be rallying into that, and maybe even a little bit past that, because this rally is coming a week too late. But the actual SegWit, like basically the first block with the SegWit transaction has a very good chance of being the sell the news. So that's not going to come till like August 21st, right? Like somewhere in the 20s. So if we get a pullback, it's going to be sometime in the 20s. So I think at the least we're good for another 2 weeks, and then potentially a pullback using the daily candles. And that kind of lines up with the daily candles. I'm looking for, if this is a 3.9, so that means we'll have 6 more days of upside. So that takes us, today's already the 5th, right? Today's already Saturday, according to the candle. This is a Saturday candle. So today's already Saturday, so we add 6 more days. That takes us into Friday. So so next Friday would be what? If today's the 5th, that would be the 11th. So the 11th could be a short-term high. That would be a 9 on a daily chart. And then we pull back a little bit from the 11th till for about 4 days. And after the 15th of August, start to go up again and potentially have another pullback with the first SegWit transaction taking place somewhere in the 20s, like 25th or whenever it's projected.
Uh-oh.
Somebody's phone.
Oh, sorry.
Put it on speaker. We want to hear.
No. Well, guys, listen, we just passed over a 50 billion market cap for Bitcoin. So that is amazing. That's a good milestone. I think you would agree.
I also saw a tweet that said, "I'm watching the NASA live stream and I just saw Bitcoin fly by." So
nice.
Rock and roll.
Hey, so does this August 21st mean anything?
August 23rd, it looks like 22nd, 23rd, something like that. That absolutely means something, because then right after that is when SegWit transactions will be live on the network.
So this actually is when a SegWit transaction will be mined. Well,
yeah, and you can do potentially Lightning network transactions, or at least funding transactions.
So that's the next period. Okay, got it. Yeah. So I guess the most probabilistic thing we're looking at is perhaps a pullback from around the 15th into the 20s, and then maybe this event will actually drive the price higher because people will be optimistic that there is finally a SegWit transaction. So we'll see. You really got to see what happens. Like I said, I'm expecting a rally for definitely all of this week. And if the rally continues, then the 21st becomes a potential sell event. If we pull back from the 15th into the 21st, which is what I talk about once we hit a 9. Where's my last? I'll go to the weekly chart. This is what I always talk about after a 9. After a 9, you get this 1 to 4 candle pullback. So if we get the 9 on the daily on the 15th, we'll have a 1 to 4 day pullback, and then we rally again off of the confidence that there are SegWit transactions in the mempool.
Wow, that would be quite an interesting series of events. I do expect some more drama to happen before November, but certainly the biggest thing coming up in the next few weeks seems to be that August 21st date, especially if there are announcements about different wallets that are integrating various things, and maybe some infrastructure companies that are saying, hey, we'll be a Lightning hub and things like that. And you can do coffee transactions if you want on this layer and things of that nature. These are all interesting things. Any other questions, Tone?
Well, Vortex been keeping track of those. Right?
Sorry.
I'm gonna give this about 10 more minutes, guys. It's almost 1 a.m. and I do want to get some sleep.
10 minutes is good for me too. Okay, so let's see here. So I'm not sure if you can answer this, Tone, or if we will have to wait for Thomas, but it says, the question is, what are your analytics telling you about the countries watching WCN right now and for the past 2 months?
I saw that question. Yeah. I honestly haven't looked.
I don't know either. See, Thomas, MadBitcoins actually keeps track of most of that stuff and it kind of updates us with things. So we can definitely bring that question. If you want, bring that question to the next Bitcoin group, or possibly even to This Morning in Bitcoin. But you might have to tweet Thomas at MadBitcoins, and I'm sure he'd be happy to answer that question.
I think it would heavily depend on when we're doing the show. Right now, for example, probably nobody in Europe is watching, or I don't know, man, you can prove me wrong. But yeah, it's very early in the morning.
At the least, Max Kaiser is watching. Yeah, he's usually in Europe, but he does travel.
He's here. He's back in the U.S. for his show anyway. His show is back in the U.S.
Oh, it is? I didn't know that. We're in California?
I believe he came back because of Trump, because Trump got elected. I believe that's why, like, one of the main reasons that what motivated him to move back to the U.S. And he's been doing his show. I'm not sure where, but it's been like a park type area. It's very interesting. Like, they walk in the park now instead of sitting in like the stuffy tower. They're like literally walking, and the cameraman's walking with them. And they did a episode where they were on the beach. So I mean, it's been pretty cool. It's been pretty interesting.
Max Kaiser. Well, yeah, and certainly people in Asia can watch right now, but I think it's like Saturday afternoon there. But yeah, I mean, it does depend, because like we do our like Today in Bitcoin shows at like, you know, something like 11 a.m. Eastern time or something, and that's good for Europe, but not so good for other parts of the world and things like that. So that's a good question. I would love to. Like people are saying, hey, I'm watching from France right now, blah blah blah, and yeah, that's great. We obviously love having you on on chat and watching this show, and we want to thank the over 1,400 people watching live right now. And we want to thank you for making us trend on YouTube Live on their technology. We're beating NASA, we're beating the Moon and Saturn Live, we're beating the Earthquake 3D Live Seismic. We want to thank all of you for doing that, obviously, and that helps make this channel, keep this channel going, and we're obviously very grateful for all the people that do donate. Bitcoin, or I don't think we've even flashed the QR code once today, Tone, did we?
No, I still haven't. I haven't had time to put together the new picture, so we haven't been flashing the QR. I'll be ready next time. I didn't expect it to go. We're number one again. Wow, look at you. Look,
my face is on.
You got your face right there.
Oh, I want Tone's face or somebody else's face to be on it.
I think it changes the thumbnail every few minutes.
Oh, good.
Based on what's going on, because it's supposed to be live. But yeah, we're very grateful to all of you, we are at an all-time high, and I do feel like it should be a more celebratory mood. And right now, I think all of us here at the World Crypto Network are just kind of tired, just from not getting much sleep over the last few days.
All right, well, let's just say we have more live viewers than Al Jazeera and Bloomberg live on YouTube.
Wow.
which is crazy. We're like just people in their homes with a webcam. Those guys like have studios and anchors and cameramen and makeup artists and producers and all that other stuff.
Wait, Jimmy, you don't have a makeup artist?
No.
Come on, man. Your head is too shiny to not have a makeup artist.
All right. This is what we need to hit. So live, Mexico versus USA. How
many is that?
This is baseball. 5,500.
Okay, well, it is sports. I don't know if unless like we have like although I would pay to watch like Excellion and Roger Ver get into like a boxing match or something. That I think a lot of people would pay for that. But yeah, short of something like that, those numbers seem kind of out of our realm. But who knows? Who knows? It's possible that we can get there if we keep going with this, and if we can keep putting out good content. Thank you, The Bad Virus, for your £10 donation. I think you've donated before as well. I do seem to remember that name. I mean, we're just very grateful to our fans. You don't have to donate, obviously, but we do appreciate them. But you guys are sort of what's made us kind of not sleep. So maybe I should be blaming you. I don't know. But yeah, it's been quite the crazy week, and what a way to top it off than a new all-time high in Bitcoin of
absolutely.
I think 3,200 or something like that. So good stuff.
Absolutely. Awesome. Yeah, we're over 3,200 on Bitstamp still. Over $50 billion market cap. Amazing week. Great coverage by you guys. It's awesome. I'm happy.
All right, guys, come on, Vortex. One more question. Choose wisely, and then we'll call it a night.
Oh, gosh, drum roll. Okay, one more question, and it's got to be good. I got like 10 questions here. Okay, let's see. Okay, how about this one then? What happens after the last Bitcoin is mined? How will transactions get processed after blocks are no longer being created?
I've dealt with this question before.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've dealt with this before. Jimmy, why don't you go first, and then I'll say my usual speech.
Okay, so the scenario is Bitcoin Cash is no longer being mined. Is that the question?
No, Bitcoin.
Bitcoin is no longer being mined.
Right. Basically, I mean, it's always a decreasing thing, but like basically what happens when the block reward is like 0.2 Bitcoin.
Oh, right. You know, this is why there's a fee market, right? And this is sort of the foresight of the developers that have been working on Bitcoin for a long time is, hey, we are going to run out of block reward. We should solve that problem before. And the solution is a fee market. Part of why many of them wanted a 1 megabyte block is so that fees would make up a substantial part of the mining reward. And as long as that's the case, you know, miners will always have the incentive to mine. I've done some calculations on this, and in about two more block reward adjustments, which happen every 4 years, we're actually going to have more fees coming in through you know, transaction fees than block reward, and that's actually a good thing. You know, we can prepare for that a lot sooner. Eventually, the block reward part is going to trend towards zero, but the fee part will always stay. So that's what's going to motivate miners.
All right, so let me. Yep, I was pulling this up. Yeah, people like have these charts. Oh, come on. I don't really want to zoom in, but here, maybe you guys can see it. Whoever put this together, this basically shows you the upcoming block reward. No, that's not what I was looking at. Trying to find the chart. That wasn't it. I've seen like really good Excel spreadsheets of the block reward, and here it is, block reward. There we go. So this is the picture I was looking for. Maybe it'll be a nice big one.
No.
Come on. Oh, God. There it is.
Well, there's some charts. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can really zoom in on that. But yeah, so basically we're looking at a Bitcoin reward of 0.01 Bitcoins around the year 2050. Okay, so what happens? So there's a couple of things going on. So first of all, if Bitcoin continues to go up in price, the monetary value of a Bitcoin reward for 0.02 Bitcoin may actually be the same as the monetary reward right now. Like, we don't know, like so far, like miners are making even more money today every 10 minutes than they did when the block reward was 50 Bitcoin. So up until now, the Bitcoin price has been able to keep up with the halving. So we don't know how long it's going to stay that way. It's possible that it's going to stay that way for a while. All Bitcoin has to do is double in price every 4 years. And it's done more than that, right? In order to keep up with the financial value. This is why you don't want 2 Bitcoins. This is why you don't want 3 Bitcoins. You want 1 Bitcoin, so that as long as Bitcoin is able to double in value every 4 years, nothing changes. Miners don't need even those fees because it stays the same. So the other aspect of it is my view on it. Obviously, there will be more transactions, so there'll be more fees coming in. Now, miners are, of course, scared that all those fees are going to be on layer 2, but there should still be enough layer 1 settlement for the fees. My ultimate view on it is, by that point in time, there will be so many people invested in Bitcoin that they will be mining to support the network as basically another expense. Like, let me give you an example. Suppose Netflix decides to go a la carte by flashing a Bitcoin QR code for people just pay for one-off. Let's say Netflix wants to get into Africa. They can't go into Africa right now because of credit card fraud, but they can go into Africa with Bitcoin. They'll just flash a QR code, and the entire continent of Africa is able to watch Netflix. And Netflix becomes directly invested into the survival of Bitcoin. So I can easily see Netflix running some form of a mining farm and chalking it up to an expense. Like Netflix would spend X amount of their profits on mining just to make sure Bitcoin has stability. And YouTube can do the same. And Amazon can do the same. And not to mention the regular people, even people like the people watching us. Like right now, I've already started mining at a loss. You're telling me that if you're sitting on Bitcoin and you just became a multi-millionaire, you're not going to be at least tempted to run one miner just to support the network, to support your nodes? It's no different than most people having a gym membership they never go to. We're not new to spending money on like something that we never use. So I can totally see the future when Bitcoin is so important to the world that enough people are willing to mine it at a loss just to preserve their savings in Bitcoin.
Absolutely, Tone. That's I almost couldn't have said it better. I mean, really, if we're talking that far into the future, the entire global financial system, I mean, everything will be underpinned by Bitcoin, similar to how all communication today is pretty much underpinned by the internet. You know, it's going to be such a huge utility, and as you said, Tone, it's already self-supporting. Like Bitcoin itself is now allows the internet to pay for itself, because now you can get a job over the internet and get paid in Bitcoin complete without banks. So now the internet can fund itself, growing even bigger and even farther. And like you said, Ton, with Netflix, that was an excellent example of how the internet can now travel even further and farther thanks to Bitcoin. There will be a vested interest. There are people all over the world already that are completely invested into Bitcoin. You know, they keep track of it 24/7. If one little thing happens, I mean, just look at us. We saw the price when we went live. I mean, this is being watched by more people than anything else. And you know, the code is the most reviewed code on the planet. This is really integral to the future of humanity, in my opinion, as to where we go. Do we want an open source, you know, permissionless digital currency, or do we want a controlled digital currency from the government, you know, like digital fiat? So this is where we're going to go. And if Bitcoin survives that long, you can be guaranteed that it will be Bitcoin that we chose.
All right, guys, any closing thoughts before we sign out?
Maybe. Okay, yeah, why don't you go ahead, Vortex. You go first.
I just wanted to just plug my show real quick, you know, right? Because the Bitcoin News Show will be here on Sunday. We are going to be interviewing Vinny Lingham on that show, so should be a good show. We'll be talking about all these topics. It's going to be great. And also,
don't troll him too hard, man. Don't troll him too hard.
I'm gonna try. No, we love Vinny. We love Vinny. And then tomorrow morning, of course, there'll be should be another Today in Bitcoin, all right here on the World Crypto Network. So, guys, definitely stay tuned. We have a lot more content coming. And again, catch me on my show this Sunday at noon Pacific time.
Jimmy, go for it.
Well, I just want to say that this week was the most exhilarating week that I've had in Bitcoin since maybe 2013. And everyone remembers what happened in 2013. I was still sort of like early to Bitcoin, sort of, at least as a developer. So wasn't quite as intense from a developer's perspective. This one was more intense because I actually had to, the things that happened on the network had real world consequences to my job. So, you know, in that sense, it's been a very interesting and fun ride. It's been a pleasure to sort of share this experience with all of you, and hopefully you can say that for us too, like just sort of being on this network. You know, we do have a community that's pretty amazing. It's hard to tell oftentimes when we're fighting on Twitter or Reddit, but you know, overall, you know, we're going to change the system. We're going to you know, make sound money happen, and that's going to change a lot of things in society that we can't even really imagine right now. But yeah, I wanted to thank all of you for watching, for donating, for doing all that you've done. It's been a lot of fun this week, a lot of not much sleep, a lot of work, a lot of everything. But you know, I've loved every single minute of it, and I just want to thank you, you know, for what's happened this week, and you know, getting to celebrate this all-time high with you is a pleasure.
Very, very well said, Jimmy. And hey, guys, I want to thank all of our viewers that have stuck around with us through these live streams. We're going to try to bring you more and more of these live shows. And I'm watching a Bitcoin crash of over $100, but I'm certainly not worried with what's happening here. And hey, we're all going to enjoy the ride. Thank you very much for tuning in. Please subscribe, please share, tell your friends about the World Crypto Network, and we'll continue bringing you the best content we can. All right, guys, bye-bye, and we'll see you tomorrow morning for Today in Bitcoin.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.